Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about eating disorders and how it affects our relationships with others. And first of all, I want to say I think this comes down to really a confidence issue and probably a fear of being hurt for a lot of people. Because I think a lot of us, a lot of people with eating disorders are very sensitive people. And unfortunately, people that don't understand it, I mean, I've heard that people with eating disorders are selfish, people that with addictions are selfish, and I have a hard time with that concept because really, in all honesty, every person is selfish because everything we do is, even if it's charitable or kind or, whatever, we do things in our own interest, and that's just a natural human trait. Yeah, we may be self-sacrificing, but we work so that we can feed ourselves, so that we can feed our family. So I really hate to go down that selfish route, and so I just want to start out by separating that I don't believe that most people that have eating disorders are doing it for selfish reasons. It may appear that way because it may appear that that there's vanity behind it, but the reality is most people with eating disorders really have no vanity. In fact, it's the opposite. There's so much, there's so many self-confidence issues around body image and issues, and it can stem from past hurts or trauma. And I'll just say in my own experience, just this fear of getting intimate in a relationship and then getting hurt. And so I think sometimes we protect ourselves with our eating disorder because we feel like that's a relationship that we have. It kind of is a intimate relationship that's almost with another person that will always be there for us. It's not going to leave us. And even though it's hurting us, it's the hurt is different, or appears to be different, than an actual person who we may get close to. And so our eating disorder, we protect it, and we protect that because we have that safe intimacy and safe space, and it prevents us from getting into an intimate relationship with others, whether that be family, whether that be a significant other, children, sisters, brothers, friends. When we are so connected to that eating disorder, we almost shut ourselves off from everybody else because we are protecting that intimacy and keeping it within ourselves. So that's a very difficult thing, and the more engaged you are in your eating disorder, the more it affects that intimacy and that relationships. It can be very damaging to families and friends and very hurtful to those on the outside who are looking at the person they love who is withdrawing and protecting this life that they can see is hurting this person, and in many cases this will ruin friendships because friends they're hurt by watching somebody hurt themselves with these behaviors, and they can't fix it, and sometimes the relationships even become volatile. And so when we give our lives to our eating disorders, we oftentimes sacrifice a lot of intimate relationships, and when we're in recovery, it's hard to accept that when we give up that eating disorder, we're trading it for more fulfilling relationships, but those relationships can always be hurt because you're interacting with another person. There's always that risk of abandonment, of people leaving you, but what you have to realize is that as long as you have to have outside validation or validation from your eating disorder that you're okay, there will always be some hurt in your life and some abandonment and some people leaving, because you cannot guarantee the actions of others, and you cannot guarantee that someone's not going to die, or somebody's life circumstances aren't going to change, or somebody's not going to move away. So somehow you have to build that confidence within yourself. And that's very difficult to do. But just start, start by finding the little things within yourself that you can love yourself for. It comes down to really finding self-love. And the way you do that is to practice journaling, practice when you have feelings, write all those feelings down and then respond to them like you were responding to a friend. And really you'll learn to soothe yourselves and heal yourself. And even in the absence of others, you can find peace in that heartache. So I decided that I'm going to leave you with this song this week that I'm singing, so hopefully it turned out okay. But this is one of my favorite songs because I think it really speaks to how we as girls and women, and I know there's probably men that watch this channel, but how we view ourselves and how we compare ourselves to others, and really what we ignore and what we discredit in ourselves that's probably greater than the bodies or the celebrities or the things that we're trying to accomplish that really will take away from the richness of who we are as an inner person. So hope you enjoy it and hope you have a good Thanksgiving and don't get too stressed out with all the food. Just take some deep breaths. I know this time of the year is difficult for people with eating disorders, but you can make it, and I'll talk to you next week. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned, this song is by Sherry Call. It's called She. She is not the picture in the magazine. She's the woman just behind you in the checkout stand. She may appear to be common, but she mystifies in all the ways the wisest men and children understand. 'Cause she has eyes that sparkle with her love, and she has a smile that's as gentle as a dove. And no woman in from a movie or an ad could ever hope to be as beautiful as she. She is not a highly honored diplomat, held responsible to lead the world to peace. But what she does is every bit as serious, amidst the turmoil everywhere that will never cease. 'Cause she has hands that wipe the tears away, and she has a voice that makes everything okay. And no woman from the papers or TV could ever hope to be as indispensable as she. And it breaks my heart every time I see her wonder if she means anything in this world that pulls her under. And she doesn't always see the way that heaven smiles above her. That's the reason I try to always tell her that I love her. 'Cause she may not be known for giving millions to the charities and auctions on the news, but I believe she's given more than anyone in all the time she's ever had to choose. To give up sleep, to rock her children every night, and give her heart to always hold their dreams so tight. And the best that you or I could ever hope to be is as wonderful as she. And the best that you or I could ever hope to be is as wonderful as she.